Talking this morning about a story about how a number of churches, Christian churches, have opened their doors for some Muslims to worship.
Right.
In one case, in Cordoba, Tennessee, and Alexandria, Virginia. In one case, they were building a new mosque, and in the other, they just needed more room.
Certainly.
And some are saying, well, you can't do that. You cannot invite them in.
Well, one of the things the person you talked with, Dr. Alex McFarland, I had a very long conversation with him, and he
says don't do it.
Well, he said, exactly, but he also talked about something that is the danger for the future, which is something called Chrislam, which is a melding of the two religions, Christianity and Islam. And I've talked to other theologians and one minister who actually does missionary work in the Middle East, and he says he sees it too. And the problem is that when you combine these two religions, you kind of the best of what you like about them. You ignore their exclusive claims. And unlike Judaism and Christianity, Islam and Christianity are actually set up better for it because Islam actually reveres Jesus as a prophet.
But they're not practicing Chrislam.
No, they're not practicing, but the idea is that this is what it sets up in the future. The idea of being compassionate to your neighbors, of being in a relationship with them, this is what the Christians are called to do. But are you so concerned about the compassion that you ignore the truth claims of these religions, which is very different? Islam reveres Jesus, but he's a prophet. Christianity says no. Jesus is the Son of God, the resurrection. That is the cornerstone of Christianity.
Of
and that's the truth claim. That is what they're concerned about.
All right, we're going to hear from both sides. Let's listen to these sound bites we have from both corners.
We're not facilitating their practice of religion in the sense of proselytizing or accepting the religious beliefs. We're offering people a space.
But to give our space over to a belief system that is absolutely antithetical to what Jesus taught, it might be well-intentioned, but I believe misguided.
All right, and we asked you what you thought, and we got a whole bunch of email from Norm in Alabama.
Yeah, Norm sounds like this. He says, this is so wrong. How can you share a church with people that have opposite beliefs? Muslims strongly criticize Christians and say that the Lord Jesus Christ is not the Son of God. I'm always amazed how this country gets further away from the values it was founded on.
You know, it's kind of interesting, too. Well, I'll continue to read, and then we'll talk about this. Paul from Minnesota, if your Christian church is really a place to discuss doing good deeds, it would be okay to allow Muslims to worship there also. You know, if the roles are reversed, you think about it, why would they want to be in a Christian church or vice versa? You know, if you're a Christian, I don't know if you'd want to worship in a mosque.
Well, one of the things that also happens is these are not the only two churches this is going on. There are other churches, and some of them actually have removed certain kind of idols or statues and that sort of thing because the Muslims actually will not worship in a place that has any kind of form of idols. So churches are actually accommodating the Muslims as well. But he makes a very good point: is that if you're just about doing good deeds, there's no problem. Then open your church.
Right.
But if your church is also about the doctrine of the faith, which is worshiping Jesus as the risen Lord, that's a whole different ballgame.
But haven't we seen with the downtown mosque when it was a hulk of an office building, people worshipped in there, they just brought their own rug?
Certainly.
So why do they need a church to worship when they can grab an office building or something like that while their mosque is being built? And there's been, since 2000, we have almost double the amount of mosques in this country.
Well, this is very true, and also the Christians also see this as their Christian duty. Now, this is not just
right.
a part of, we have a space and you want to rent a space and we've got it, so here we go. It's also part of their Christian understanding of who they are,
right.
and that's the complaint, that's the conflict of saying you don't understand. What is your primary function?
Right.
Is it to preach the gospel, or is it to be compassionate?
Or maybe to show them love and then they're converted or something like that.
And, people who are saying, but, Jesus converted people through relationship, not through just strict preaching. So this is what they're doing, is being in relationship with people, of opening their doors and saying, but you got to worry about the future. Are you more concerned about the compassion of your faith or the truth of your faith?
We have breaking news.
This man received death threats and we have all looked the other way.
Won't even answer that question. Answer one question.
America, last time I checked, was the home of the brave.